Hi, everybody. Selene here. I'm back with a really dynamic reading about the young Chinese man who was murdered in a sacrificial ritual in China. I have a lot of information. I'm going to do a reading, and then I'm either going to extend this reading or I'm going to make a second video about the psychic impressions I'm getting. I'm tuning into him. I'm feeling his presence, and um, as I was shuffling before I laid down these cards, three cards shot out of the deck. So this is unusual for me because I don't do it. I don't shuffle my cards the way other people do, where they just go like this and a few cards pop out. I always shuffle them like, where you're playing poker or something, and cards don't flip out that way. And I lay it out in a Celtic cross and then I interpret the cross. But three cards came shooting right out and indicated to me what was going, like I asked him to communicate with me, and he definitely did. So some of this is card reading and some of it is psychicness. So I'm trying to decide if I want to put it all in one reading or separate it into two readings. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's see what happens, because this is a very serious issue. So for those of you who don't know what happened or who this person is, let me just preface this reading by saying Menglong was a beloved, famous, very famous Chinese actor in his 30s and had been a star for about 15 years, maybe a little bit longer, since he was about 22, I think, and maybe even a little bit earlier. And he was found dead on the pavement in front of an apartment on September 11th of this year, 2025. And why is this important? I mean, and maybe a lot of you already know about it, but maybe some of you don't. So I'm going to fill in the details because not everybody's going to know. Um, he was under contract to the government-run entertainment industry. So there's several entertainment groups in China, and some of them are free, they're on their own, like we have here. But the one he joined up with, because he was very young, he might even have been 20 or 19 when he joined up. And a lot of people would join it because they wanted to be actors and singers and dancers and whatever. So he joined up with the what's called a I don't remember the exact name and I don't want to give the name because I don't want to get sued. So it's the government, the state government run entertainment organization under the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. So when you sign up with them, it's kind of almost like a lifetime contract, and you got to do what they say. I mean, it's not a sovereign contract. It's very controlled. And it's similar to what's been going on in Hollywood with some of these stars, where they're like Britney Spears, or where they get under the control of somebody. So over the years, he became a superstar and he did quite a few movies. And I don't think anybody realized that he was being tormented in the background. This Chinese entertainment industry, much like ours, I think here, is really more of kind of a prostitution ring and a pleasure ring for the bigwigs in the entertainment industry over there and also political bosses. So the stars of these movies were expected to perform sexually for a lot of these bosses. And in his case, he refused. So, he had a lot of ethics. He was also extremely pure. I've been able to look into his soul and ascertain that he was a pure soul. I would call him a chosen one. Very, very pure, very innocent, very kind and gentle and meek, easygoing, and um, a person who everybody felt was the sweetest person they'd ever met, super gentle. And he never complained. He never talked about what was going on. He was the only child with his mother. And he supported her, and and she would not be able to continue without him. So, he kept everything close to his chest and just continued on with his career. And then at some point, he withdrew to the countryside for 3 years, and during which time he wasn't allowed to make any films. So this was some form of punishment, probably because he refused to give in sexually. And during that time, he got very thin. They didn't give him much food. And from what we are determining from his contract, he wasn't even given any money. And so he was living on very little, and he was living in the countryside, and he got very, very thin. There's a lot of information here that I could go into because I've been researching it, and then I also got some hits from him. So I thought well, let me just say a little bit more. So what happened is he came back after 3 years in isolation. So he's 37 this year. He already was 37, and he would have been 38 next year. He passed at 37, and apparently he was gathering evidence against the CCP about how they were treating him and other people in general, how they were slaves and they were under contract. They couldn't leave. He wanted to leave. He wasn't allowed to. He wasn't allowed to travel. He wasn't allowed everything. He had two bodyguards at all times. He wasn't allowed to even make a decision or barely eat anything. So, by the time he came back after 3 years, he was very thin. And a lot of people noticed it, and they also started noticing, and a lot of pictures were taken of him because he was a superstar. And now, since he's been gone, a lot of people took some of the pictures of him and examined them, and there were bruises on his face and different body parts. So he'd been enduring a form of um, tyranny and abuse at the hands of the CCP people who were protecting him and guarding him. And they weren't doing that. They weren't protecting him. That's the wrong word. They were, handling him, monitoring him, and controlling him. And they didn't want him to do anything that they didn't want him to do. So he wasn't allowed the freedom to whatever. And at that point, he wasn't even resisting. He was just being himself. But when they brought him back, they got him back out there into some shows and some um, performances, maybe some variety shows. I don't know what all they have there, but he was showing up at charity benefits and maybe some um, brands that he was promoting. And that's another thing. They showed him in like jackets and shoes and things that he was promoting, but he never, when he was alone, ever wore any of those things. He wasn't allowed to have any possessions or any money or anything. So he was always broke. And that's one of the things people commented on after this was over. So then come the fateful night of he'd been resisting all along the sexual advances, and this is a problem amongst the young stars as they are expected to produce to give in to these producers and other people. And he was a pure soul. He didn't want to do that. So one night he got invited to what he thought was, I guess, a promotional dinner, and then um, it turned out to be a planned torture situation and murder for him. And they did so because they realized that he was going to expose them. And it's possible that he was recording them during that dinner, and they might have discovered that, and that could have triggered the beginning of the abuse. But actually, I think that the abuse was planned much earlier in advance because they've discovered documents stating that they were planning to sacrifice him. And I'll get into that in another video, but for the moment, what I'm going to do is I have a reading here. And what's interesting about this is it's the same date as the Charlie Kirk situation. He was actually taken to the dinner party on September 10th. And this started around, I don't know what time in the evening, 7 o'clock or something, 8 o'clock. Um, and it continued. He was tortured for, they think, at least 6 hours, maybe 8 hours. And he didn't die until the middle of the night in September 11th. And during which time they threw him out of a window and tried to make it look like he was drunk and had passed out and fallen out of the window. But it doesn't look like that's what happened. So what I did is I tuned into you, Menglong, and asked for his truth to come through. And a couple of sides after his passing, there was a cab driver in China who came forward to say that he was driving without a passenger to his next stop, and he looked in his rearview mirror and there was the ghost of a young man sitting there. And he was shocked and he said, what are you doing here? And he said, and who are you? And he said, I am Yu Menglong and I died unjustly. And I want you to tell the world what happened to me. And the driver said, why did you pick me? And he said, because I could see that you could see me, and I need someone who can see my spirit to tell my story to the world. So what I'm getting from you is that he wants us to bring justice to the world, and he wants us to tell his story, and he wants us to bring down or to bring justice to the people of China. And because Yu was probably kind of like the Princess Diana of Great Britain, was so beloved by the Chinese people, probably the most beloved actor, because he was gentle and tender and sweet. He brought out the Chinese's emotions. People who watched him said they would get very emotional, and he was so tender and sweet. So he had a lot of unconditional love. And so as a result, the entire population of China has become enraged. Now they're under censorship. They're not allowed to talk about him. And if this didn't have anything to do with the Chinese government, why has the Chinese government forbidden his name to be mentioned? And also all his trademarks, like he used to always be pictured under an umbrella. The word umbrella is blocked in China. His name means little fish. So people were started calling him, we love fish, we miss fish, stuff like that. All of that got deleted. And there were like a couple of 100,000 accounts were deleted, or people that were trying to talk about what happened. There are videos released, and there was a torture video taken of him. And it shows what happened to him, and it's pretty graphic. I'm not going to show any of that here tonight. But it's obvious to me, plus I've seen the autopsy video, that he was tortured quite severely and his body was tortured quite severely. Um, so he didn't fall out of the window. He was tortured. He was dead before they threw him out the window. And there's a lot of really gory details around it. Maybe I'll get into it. I don't know, but I really wanted to have him speak for himself. So naturally, my throat starts to get clogged up as soon as we get to the truth. Um, so I got, like I said, 3 cards flew out. And what Yu is telling me is that he wanted to expose the Chinese Communist Party and the state-run an entertainment community for how they're they're keeping slaves, entertainment slaves, very much like Britney Spears was. And I'm trying to think who else, the younger stars, not so much the older stars, but maybe the younger ones, like Demi Lovato, Amanda Bynes, usually the women. In China, for some reason, it's the men, and especially Yu Mingling was very androgynous looking, kind of had both male and female features. And he's very desired by the bosses that were into that. And so there were a lot of people that wanted him, and he didn't want any of them. He didn't want to participate. So it's he wanted to expose the fact that you couldn't just be an entertainer, you had to be a prostitute. I think that's really what he was trying to expose. And also the fact that his name was being used. They were using his name to money launder things like weapons trafficking, human trafficking, organ trafficking. So they would have a website that'd be like Yu Ming Long socks and winter clothes or something, but it was really weapons trafficking, or Yu Ming Long's sweater collection, and it would be human trafficking. So he didn't want his name on any of those companies. And they had him on 150 companies. So we're talking about exploitation at the highest level in immorality, prostitution, sex trafficking, all of that. And he wanted out and they wouldn't let him out. So he was trying to get evidence so they could get out. And I guess that night he brought some of that evidence with him, and that probably triggered off this episode. Maybe they planned it anyway, and I think they did because they had injections with them, and so he was drugged. But let's see what he has to say. So Yuling, Yuming, this is for you, and please speak openly. And I'm going to do a bunch of different sets of cards here. So I already laid out some cards, and like I said, the first three popped right out. In fact, it was actually another two popped right out afterwards. And what I got was that what he's going to, when you get the Ace of Swords, that what he's going to say tonight is the truth. And the truth is going to come out right now from above, I was going to say the mouth, but he doesn't have a body anymore, from the spirit of Menglong. I'm sorry if I didn't mean to mispronounce your name, you. A beautiful Chinese person who was very sensitive, very kind and loving. So this is the message he has for you. He's going to tell you the truth. Here's the the Ace of Swords. When that comes out, it means the truth is here. And immediately what I got was a collaboration of people. So this was a group of people who planned to hurt him and to suppress him, to silence him. So this is the Three of Pentacles, and three people making some kind of plan and getting together and figuring it out. But it's more than three, but it just represents a group of people getting together to go against him. And then we got the King of Pentacles reverse. So this is a kingpin of some kind, like a big boss that's really evil. When you get all of the kings that I got in this reading are reversed. So there's a number of evil male patriarchs involved. So these would be media executives, or it could be political figures, or it could be his managers, whoever it is. The King of Pentacles is a ruthless, greedy individual who cares nothing for other people, and he wants what he wants. And wealth and power are what it's all about. And he and these two came out together, and this group of people, he's going to tell me the truth, that these are the people that harmed him. And then what came out right after that was the Two of Cups reversed, which is a dual meaning to me. First of all, that there was no love. The Two of Cups stands for love, true love. So there was no love for him there that night. Also, his girlfriend supposedly is the one who betrayed him and told them that he had some video evidence or a USB drive. And so this was a betrayal of his true love, if he loved her that much. I've seen pictures of them together. I can't remember her name, but a lot of these names are people I've never heard of. So obviously, we don't hear about this over here, but it's completely suppressed in China. But what's interesting about it is that people have found ways. It's actually sparked outrage in China because he was so beloved that people in China have started a grassroots movement to overthrow the CCP. And they won't stop until his murder is solved. An investigation is, because they just ruled it as a drunken accident that he fell out of a window, but he was actually tortured for hours on end. And so the people of China have demanded that this be investigated, and that he be honored and justice be given. And there's a twist to this, which I probably get into, connecting to the King of Pentacles. So there was no love for him, and there was a betrayal by somebody he loved. And most likely it could have been his manager or his friend who were also there. And his manager is believed as the person who killed him, his own manager, who's been his manager for all these years. And so, we'll see what he has to say about it. So you please let us know. So then the next thing I got was this blocked his abundance and his happiness. And on top of this, so we got the King of Swords in the position of what is around him and what was oppressing upon him. And I got the King of Swords reversed. Now, this is a very, even more ruthless person. The King of Swords reversed is a narcissist, a psychopath, or a sociopath. It's somebody that doesn't care about you. It's right on top of his abundance. We got the abundance card, the Ace of Cups reversed, which is the other card that came out with the Two of Cups. But I put it back in the deck because I wasn't sure if it had come out or not. It looked like it was maybe coming out. And it came out again as the first card. So these people who didn't love him, since they did come out together at first, blocked his happiness, his joy, and his abundance. And then it came out as the first card, the basis card of this reading. And on top of it, we got the King of Swords in reverse. So he was suppressed, oppressed, and abused by some ruthless individual who did not want him to be happy or have anything. They just wanted to control him. And then crossing him, oh yeah, crossing him was the Two of Pentacles, which is that he was juggling. He was trying to figure out what to do to make a decision, like what should I do? How should I handle this? Should I try to get the evidence? And what decision should I make? And this decision, probably whatever decision he made that night, probably cost him his life. Or maybe it was predestined, and frankly, I think it was predestined to happen because he's going to take down the CCP. This event is the biggest story in the history of China, except maybe Mao's winning the revolution in 1948, or maybe Tiananmen Square. This is sweeping China right now. And so he made a decision that cost him his life. The decision was that he was going to stand up to evil and try to take him down. And that's what martyrs do. That's what chosen ones do. That's what heroes do, courageous people do, is they do the right thing even in the face of risking their life. And I believe that he made a decision, and that's what crossed his path. And yeah, I'm getting a yes. And we'll qualify that. In fact, I'll qualify it right now. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. I didn't look. Oh yeah. Can you qualify this Two of Pentacles? Yeah. You got an angel reverse. So he's an angel. He made a decision and it's reversed, which means now he's in heaven, He went up to heaven. He didn't get to stay, but he's in heaven. That's for sure. So he made a decision that cost him his life, and now he's an angel watching over us. And so he made that decision, and then here's him at the bottom. This is the foundation of this reading. And this is him, he's offering one pentacle, and that's the only pentacle he has because they don't give him very much. And this is him, and he's trying to manifest. He's working hard and he's trying to make things happen. And this is somebody who cares, and who's trying to do what's right and trying to become a good person and do the right thing. And he, was stopped at every turn. And it's sad to me, this is why I paused. This whole thing has been very, very sad to me. I really relate. For those of you who may or may not know who I am, I'm also a survivor of sex slavery, of MK Ultra, child trafficking, and sex slavery by the Masons when I was a small child. So I really related to this story, and I cried a lot on his behalf. And I cry for you. And that's why I'm doing this for him, because he deserves to be honored for the suffering he went through and the sacrifice he made. And so, here he is making his offering of a single pentacle. It's kind of like, this is what I've manifested and created. See, I brought my talents to you. Please accept my gift of creativity. And I'm a singer and I'm an actor. And, this is the innocent you trying to give his gifts to the world. And of course, they slammed him down. In his immediate past, I see the Empress. And I think this is probably his mother who did everything for him, because she is abundant and loving and fruitful, and she's there for you for everything, and she can't be stopped, Most likely this is his mother. This is almost like the only positive card in the whole reading. And okay, I'm hearing, yes, this is his mother. So she's in the position of the past. So we don't know if she's alive. I'm not sure if she's alive. They might have killed her because she was begging for information on him. And they gave her his ashes, but it's not his ashes. He's they've taken his body somewhere. That's what these kind of people do. And so then his immediate future. So this is him talking to, in the reading. What he's telling me, this is the word terrible card, is they're going to steal everything, his money, his image, his legacy, his history, but it doesn't matter because he's going to rise above that. But this is what they're going to do. This is the Seven of Swords, which is a card of theft, deception, evil. Somebody pulling a trick. They think they got what they wanted. He's dead, and they're going to keep it. He's quiet, and they're not going to be found out, and they can take all his money. And just like when other people are sacrificed, like for those of you who don't know, a lot of these entertainers have been sacrificed. Like Prince was sacrificed. Heath Ledger was sacrificed. Um, Avicii was sacrificed. And they do it for various different reasons. Sometimes, like in his case, he was going to expose them. So they sacrificed him and he wouldn't give in. So they're like, okay, we're just going to take it. So they're going to take it with the Seven of Swords. And this is what they do. Like in the case of Prince, he had just won the rights to his own music so he could keep the money and not give it to his music company who were stealing from him. And so they killed him because they're like, we want your music. And he didn't have any heirs, he didn't have any children. So they often do this when they're young enough and they're not savvy enough to protect themselves. So it's exploitation of youth and innocence and beauty and kindness, and talent. So then they're going to go ahead and steal his money, but it's not going to save them. And we're going to talk about that, aren't we, you? I want you to know that something's going to happen positive because of what you did, you. So for you, this is him in the reading, this position. I do the Celtic cross, and so every card has a position. And then I'm going to just do more cards after that. This is him in the reading, the Wheel of Fortune. He's ended a life cycle, a karmic cycle, and he's starting a new cycle, and he's in heaven. I believe me, he's an angel in heaven. We got the card that he's in heaven. And he's done with this suffering he went through, terrible suffering. Apparently, they've been abusing him for 12 years. And people now realize that he kept it secret from his mother because he was supporting her. And it was just him and her, and he didn't want her to suffer. And so he has been liberated from this karmic cycle. This was his mission, his soul mission, to come in and take down the entertainment industry, the CCP entertainment industry, which is extremely evil. They don't even care about entertainment anymore. It's all about rigged awards, prostitution, exploiting young people. I mean, it's an evil empire, and it's very similar here in Hollywood. So he's fortunate. I mean, I'm sorry, of course, that he went through this horrible death, but now he's free and he's in heaven and he started a new cycle. And I hope you're happy up there, you. And then here we come with another king. So we had the King of Pentacles, then we had the King of Swords. Now we have the King of Cups. So this is someone who's cold, and because if he's the other way, it would be a good king. And someone who's very manipulative emotionally, who doesn't care about what you feel, and he's going to guide you in the wrong way. This is what's next to him. This is somebody who gave him bad advice, probably his manager, an ice cold fake friend who pretended to be his guide in life. And he's the one who killed him, most likely, along with there was 17 people there that night, if you haven't followed the story. And they think every one of them contributed that took their turn beating him. And this is just the worst story I've ever heard, to tell you the truth. I mean, it gets worse. There's a lot worse that went on. So then the next thing that I see is the atmosphere in the world, and it's a broken heart of the world. And here's where I see another aspect to his death. is that he has awakened the heart of China and activated. The Chinese people are they tend to be obedient, too obedient. They're very oppressed and they're less likely to revolt than like the French or the Americans or whatever. They do what they're told. Of course, they get in trouble if they don't. It's a ruthless empire. But this touched their hearts, and everybody in China is grieving. And every video I watch, there's people sobbing and just really upset about it. And this is allowing the Chinese people to feel their feelings for the first time in decades and to awaken their warrior heart. I believe that this is and it is, I can already see it, is awakening a movement to take down the CCP. And one of the things that kept prevailing is that people think that people like Menglong was untouchable, that he was rich and famous and that he had a big house and everything was perfect for him. But in reality, he was being tortured. He didn't have any money and they were abusing him and threatening him for years since the beginning. And suddenly they realized that this was what was happening to all the people who've been going missing and that it could happen to them. And so they related to his story and they loved him. And this has sparked a, a grassroots movement all across China. And now it's gone global. There's all kinds of people talking about it, including myself. And this is going to bring out the warrior in the Chinese, and they're going to take down the young people. They will take down the CCP, and we love you for it because this is an evil, evil, evil empire that needs to go. The Chinese people need to be liberated from communism once and for all. And the CCP is ruthless, murderous, organ harvesting organization that will kill anybody for any reason whatsoever. And they're trying to take over the world. So we need that to end. And this broken heart is going to heal. And the people, on behalf of Yu Minglong, will step forward to bring justice to him and take down his enemies. So I'm really proud of you. This was his mission as a chosen one to heal this country that he loved. He was Chinese, so of course he loved his own country and he wanted them to be free. So I believe he was a chosen one sent to impact this CCP and bring it down. And that's what all the pundits are saying too. They think this is the turning point for the CCP, which is shaky anyway, that they're going to start going down. So there's more, and there's a lot more to the story, which I'm, not going to go into right now. But what I will say is, so here's the final card. The two final cards is here's burdens, the 10 of Wands, that there's somebody with a lot of burdens. And that's what was happening to him while he was here. He was burdened and he couldn't rest and he couldn't escape. But he's not there anymore. Now he's in a different realm. And what's interesting to me is now the card of charity and wealth and generosity and having enough and being happy and abundant is here. And that tells me that wherever he is, he's going to live the life of abundance in heaven. And I also think that people are going to become abundant as a result of this, like money is going to be released that has been held back from the people all over the world. I think this is part of the liberation of this planet. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have a happy home, which means wherever he is, he has a happy home. I think he's in heaven and I think he's doing just great. But I would like to qualify some of these cards. So, because it was very dark what happened to him. And maybe I will go into it. I don't know. Maybe I will. It's just a really tough story. Let's qualify. I want to put the kings together, whoever they are, see what it is that's going on with these nasty kings. We've got the Ace of Swords and this group here. And we've got the Two of Cups. I'm going to put the broken heart on the top of the Two of Cups. And let's qualify who's going to steal. So let's do that. let's do it over here. So I'm going to qualify, get a clarification on these cards. And maybe his new life, what his new life is. And let's check it out. So Yu Menglong was born on the same day as the premier of China, Xi Jinping. And there's an ancient ritual that they believe that they were carrying out on Xi Jinping. And it's that this is the year of the snake, and it's the year that Xi Jinping was going to lose power. And that vote was going to take place in October, and they thought that a new premier would be selected because he's now older and he's been there for a long time. He's in his 70s now. And so there is a belief that if you sacrifice a young person who has the same birth chart as you and the same typical, birth date and similarities, and there needs to be several other things like he needs to come from a royal bloodline. And Li Minglong is from the Ming Dynasty bloodline. His mother's father, I think his father or his mother, are descendants of the Ming Dynasty. The emperor who started the Ming Dynasty actually looks like you. And so what happens is that you have to sacrifice somebody, and they have to be carrying two gemstones that cut a certain way. He had those in his pocket with two watches. And they were inside of the watches, these really expensive watches. And then the person that's going to receive and what they're going to do is they try to take your soul out of your body and your young essence and give it to the older person who wants it. And supposedly that person has to carry out some public display like a parade or a party or something. And 3 days before he died, Li Jinping had a parade, a military parade all the way through Beijing with fanfare and brouhaha and all kinds of military stuff and weapons and everything. And that would have been required for this to take place. And it also needed to be a blood moon, which also happened on September 7th. So when the blood moon ended, it was September 10th. And that's when they took him. So I believe, and I'm going to ask him right now, will you tell me, please? I'm going to suffer. I'm going to shuffle, excuse me. I'm going to ask you to please answer the question. Was this a ritual? Was this a ritual for Xi Jinping to stay in power? Because in October, he was reelected. And we don't have you anymore. And his remains have been stolen. He was not cremated. So you tell us, was this a sacrifice? Show me the card that answers that question, you. Well, there's one card. I'm going to keep going. Okay, you. Let's make it very clear. Was this a ritual for Xi Jinping taking your life? The tower. And he was thrown from a tower, an apartment building. And then we got this, which is a group of people again, they're celebrating, like they're celebrating his death, which would be what would happen after a ritual. You would have a celebration of that the ritual works and that you got whatever it was you were trying to get. And so you have the ritual in the tower, which is reversed, which means that now he's gone, and they're celebrating. So I'm going to say yes, that this was a ritual, which I believe anyway, and that I'm sensing anyway. They sacrificed him. And by the way, this agency that he works for, there have been 13 other stars and singers who died suspiciously, including a very famous one, Quan Jingling, I think his name is. I'm sorry, I may have got the name wrong. 9 years ago, who was a very famous actor, very popular, who was also gathering evidence against the CCP and this group, this entertainment group. He died the same way in a building, and he was beaten and mutilated, and they claimed that he fell in some way. I can't remember at all. But he was also resisting whatever it was they wanted. He was a very handsome young man. And his nickname was Kimmy. So these two are now, they're talking about both of them, and that the other 11 people who were killed, some of those stories are surfacing. And one of them last year was a famous I think he was a Shaolin Kung Fu master. I'm not sure. A young man who was also a movie star and very handsome, and he was also sacrificed. So he probably didn't want to give in either. So this is what they do, you know, and this needed to be exposed. And I think finally, because of Yu Mingling, it's going to be. So Yu Minglong, we're going to clarify these cards. It reminds me of the whole Charlie Kirk thing. I mean, this was done for power, wealth, sex, and evil. It's a demonic ritual. And why, why do we do this? Because they want to steal the light of somebody pure like you. And there are a lot of us like that out there. And I just went through 2 years of gang stalking, and people tried to kill me because of my light, and it didn't succeed. So, those of us who are here fighting evil, we're going to continue. And because of you, Menglong, he's going to be remembered as the person who brought down the CCP and who exposed what was going on, and who possibly even takes down the Chinese government, the leader that's there right now. So I'm going to, yeah, okay. I'm going to qualify these cards here. So I've got the Two of Cups and the heart, the broken heart. Let's see what comes up. Um, yeah, so he became completely exhausted, and he couldn't go on because of what they were doing to him. And under this group that it was collaborating against him, he came with trust. He offered his cup. As here I am, I'm working, I'm doing the best I can. I'm offering the cup of love and gifts to you, which they did not respect. Under the Ace of Swords, the truth, we get the truth is that they were holding on to his resources against his will, and not allowing him to have his own. Get some water. Okay. And then qualifying the evil kings. Oh, these are going to be a group of ruthless people at the top of his entertainment industry. Three reversed kings. None of them any good. Let's see how we qualify that. And here it is, the Page of Pentacles reversed. These are the people that took his life. This is him reversed. This was him in the last reading, and here he is. So they are responsible for his death, clearly. So there's another message. And qualifying the Seven of Swords, or they're stealing his money. Um, yep. So then we have the Seven of Pentacles, or the Six of Pentacles, which was on generosity. And this was his outcome because wherever he is now, he can be generous. um, it was reversed. So they took away his opportunity. He's a humanitarian, by the way. He was helping kids that were poor, buying them textbooks and food and things like that when he was in the countryside. He didn't even pay any attention to his own, wealth or anything. Whatever he had, he didn't have very much, but he gave it all to the children. He was unable to be the humanitarian that he came to be. He was supposed to be a humanitarian with all the money. They kept all the money. And so that's what's qualifying the money that was stolen. They stole all his humanitarian money. And then of his new journey, wherever he is now, let's see what it is. Okay. So he's gone into like heaven, you know. This card normally isn't always a good card. We got the Seven of Cups. I mean, it's okay. It's illusions, but I mean, if he's gone to heaven and he has a new life, it's going to be dreamy, you know? He's in a new place. He's somewhere in heaven, and he's going to be living a new life that's something we can only dream of. That's what this is. So let's do another row. Oh, here we go, the Emperor. So this would be okay. I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it, is this is like the person who broke the heart of China and who wants everything for himself and took away all the love, and who stole the resources, is the emperor, which would be the leader of China. And I believe that he's responsible in some way, shape, or form. Whether or not he ordered it or his staff ordered it, I don't know. But I think that this was a ritual to empower the current leader. And there's no other reason for this to show up, really, under the broken heart. So it's under the broken heart. So the heart of China has been broken by some evil leader, and that's who that is. And they took away the love from him, and they took away his future. They took away his future. So is there anything else? So now here's this group, and you came to them with your knight, with your cup. Here's this group plotting against you. You came with your cup, and let's see what else happened here. Yeah, it's the evil queen. So here's the evil queen of pentacles reversed. She took your cup. Now, from what I understand, the most powerful, she's like one of the most powerful women in China, and her name was, I can't remember. I'm sorry, the Chinese name, but she had a crush on him, wanted to marry him, and he said no. She was older. I don't know that she's that much older, but he knew she was evil. She was a billionaire and had inherited all her money from her dead husband, who was quite a bit older. So who knows what she did to him. But she wanted Yu Minglong, and he turned her away. And they think that had a lot to do with this too, because she was in the room. There's a video that I've seen of I haven't seen the whole torture video, just a clip is circulating around. She's in the room while he's being beaten, and she's joining in. And she's one of the richest people in China. Here she is. A Queen of Pentacles is a very rich, wealthy woman who is evil. In this reading, she's evil. And she took his cup and she collaborated with this group here. And she collaborated and took away his life and his gifts and his trust and his faith. And she's responsible for this. She at least one of the people responsible, along with this emperor who collaborated as well, who's, I believe, the leader. And then as for the truth coming out, where they hoarded his money, kept his money, what do you want to say? Oh, the Ten of Swords in his back. He was betrayed and he's in heaven. What do you want to say about the truth here, you? The burdens. His burdens have been lifted now that he's in heaven. That's what he wants us to know, that his burdens have been lifted. I'm getting a nod from him. And then what do you want to say about this evil king, these evil kings that took away your future? The devil. What else would it be? It's the devil. And the devil was involved here. This is Satanism. And I was getting to that. These people are practicing Satanism because of what they did to his body, which I don't know how much I want to say about it, but apparently he swallowed the USB drive that had the recording of that evening. He recorded everybody. He also had other evidence elsewhere. But once they found out that he swallowed it, they cut open his stomach to remove it. But by then he was dead, I think. There's differing reports about whether or not he was dead when they did that. So these are rituals, but he has two dogs that he loved, and to try to get him to agree to whatever they wanted, they tortured his animals in front of him, and his dogs were killed. And there is a video of him screaming and begging him not to do that. These are rituals, these are satanic rituals, and the goal is to destroy your spirit, to break your spirit, to completely corrupt you. And he was incorruptible. He was willing to die. And so this King of Swords is very complicit. And all these are the three kings. This is most likely the entertainment company and maybe a political boss and maybe his manager or some other people. We don't know exactly who, but they took his life. This is him, his life, and it's reversed. So now he's not here anymore. And they were involved in satanic rituals. And supposedly they told his mother that his body was cremated and they gave her ashes, but somebody posted online, we have his body and we're going to turn it um, into a museum piece. And there's a museum that he had taken photos in front of where they keep the bodies of famous people and they cover them in some substance that makes them last forever, plasticine, I guess. And that's what they're going to do, is what they said. That's satanic art. And you can't even go into this museum unless you're a member of the satanic group. So that's what's going to happen to him, and whatever they did to his body would be related to whatever rituals they were performing, which included this ritual for power for the leader of China. So we know that Satanism was involved. Thank you, you. I asked him specifically to please answer that. So as for everything taken from him, what else do we have? Yeah, the Nine of Swords, where he was in terrible anxiety about it and he didn't know what to do. And for a long time, did you? You? Okay, I'm going to ask him right now because he's here. I can feel his presence. So we're just going to kind of combine these two. And can you answer me? Are you at peace now? Can you let yourself be at peace? Or is this you really want us to get justice for you? Do you have some peace now? Yes. He's resting. This would be the right card for that. The Four of Swords, he's at permanent rest. This is card sometimes for people who pass away or people who are healing and rejuvenating. But he's still anxious. He's anxious. Can you let it go, my dear? Please let it go. I'm going to ask you to let it go. Okay, well, he likes, I want justice. This is him saying to me, I want justice. So we have to get justice for you. Okay, and in his new life, oh, in his new life, he's suspended still because he's moving into sort of like a limbo. He's moving into the new life. And he's not sure yet what it is it's going to be. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle again and ask some questions. I wish I could get questions from you guys, but I can't do lives until all of you subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers, and maybe if some Chinese people will subscribe, I'll do some more videos. I'm going to try to post this on X and wherever I can. I don't know where Chinese people are follow. Maybe they're starting to follow some of us. And I would like you to be able to get messages. So I'm just going to do some random questions. Okay, I'm shuffling the deck and I'm going to ask a few difficult questions. Um, were you able to get the secret drive out, another secret drive out to a source so they can reveal everything that needs to be revealed? Can you please answer that? Were you able to get the secret drive out? Does somebody have the information necessary to take down the CCP? I'm so thirsty. Did you get the drive out? Ooh, we got the Emperor, and then what's I'm getting on the top here? He's fighting for it. He's fighting for this truth. Even from there, what else? The Magician. He's going to find a way. Yeah, he's going to find a way to get it. And you need to tell someone who might know, who might know where all this, who can this information be obtained from, or at least not a name, because obviously I can't get that. We don't want them to get in trouble. Where can that truth be found? Or is it enough what we've done, what you've done to die? Was that enough? Yeah, he's looking to the next journey. Um, but there is a battle raging and it's going to continue. And then he's going to be firm in the truth from this point on in his spiritual journey. And he's starting a new spiritual journey. He's starting a new journey. But he's going to make sure that justice is found. So my next question would be, and I apologize for the sensitivity of this question. And my hope is, did you suffer or did you leave your body? Did you suffer during this time? Or were you free of being in that body? Or did hopefully the whatever they sedated you with made you not feel it? Did you suffer? He's the star. And he was holding on tight, trying to stay, which made it a little bit worse, but now his burdens are lifted. And he's been telling the truth. What we've had here tonight is the God's truth. And no, he's not suffering anymore. And he started a new life immediately. But he for a little while he was holding on because he wanted to stay and he wanted to get this stuff to take care of his mother. He asked them to just let him go so he could take care of his mother. And they said no. And he was trying to get the information out, but he's let go and he's got a new life going. I'm going to look at another deck and see what they have to say. I have some other decks here. And it looks to me like Song Yirin, who is a big star there, is the person who set him up with this meeting. And then this rich woman is the one who told him that she wanted him dead. And but it was on the orders from these three kings and the emperor to do what they needed to do to silence him. And so these are the energy cards, and we're going to see what the energy is. Can you please speak through these cards? Please speak through the energy cards, and we know that we love you. We're really sorry, really, really sorry. My heart was broken. I mean, I cried a lot just listening to his story. What is the energy that you'd like to share about this right now? Is there anything more specific? These are very specific cards. These are energy cards, and they'll show us a little more. Okay. Oh, yeah. His third chakra is on the bottom. Let's see what we've got here. Well, that's him. Yeah. Yeah, well, the cards are reversed because he's in another state, but he is the angel of love. That's him. He was very loving. So it's reversed, so he's not in his body anymore, and he went through the door to spirit. That's what it's saying here, that he went through the door to spirit, and he's in the spirit realm as an angel, but he's balanced. Yeah, this one is balanced. He's becoming balanced. This is the angel of balance, the angel of love, and the door to spirit came together. And these three cards show that he went through the door to spirit, and he is, as an angel of love, um, he lost his life because he was sweet and loving, but now he is being balanced on the other side. I'm so glad to hear that, and that here's the heart, it's reversed, so there was a lot of heart there which got taken. And when he left, we all lost his beautiful heart. And but he's okay. And then here he is, rest and rejuvenation. That's what he's doing right now. He's rejuvenating. And he needs it. He needs to be up there. You just rest, okay? Just take a rest. It's been two months since his death, same day as Charlie. Well, they took him in at September 10th and tortured him for 8 hours. So he didn't, I don't know what hour he passed away, but it was probably 2 or 3 in the morning on September 11th. And he's resting and rejuvenating in heaven because being here on earth is so exhausting and draining in the third dimension. And so he's up there now somewhere, and they're going to be restoring him, and he's going to be okay. And what have we got on the bottom here? Yeah, his third chakra, his emotions, he was very sensitive, are healing. And his fourth chakra, his heart is healing. And let's see what we've got on the top. Yeah, they broke his heart when he went through all that. And somebody very deceptive was involved. And the patients, for what I'm getting right now, what he's telling me is that, and what spirit is telling me, so we need to have patience, and we're going to see the downfall of the CCP. And that's what this is. This man represents somebody who isn't it's reversed. As somebody that doesn't care, he's just a logical person who's cold, ice cold, and we're going to see them fall. That's what I'm getting right now. Okay, and I'm going to shuffle this again and see if I get anything else. And is there anything else you'd like to tell us, at this time? And I'll probably do another reading on this soon, because this is really, it's pretty clear. The Queen of Pentacles is that evil rich woman. She was behind it, and so was this woman Song. And what I'm going to tell you is, okay, what's going to happen to these people? That's what I wanted to ask. What's going to happen to these people? They're going down. They're not going to be a happy group anymore. This is a happy family reversed. And they were a little tight group of rapists and beaters and murderers and cheaters, whatever they were doing. It's reversed. They're going down. They're going to go down. And what else would you like to tell us? You super proud of you for what you did. So he's saying that it's the truth, what I've been saying that it was the CCP and this was a ritual to try to steal his. Oh, they didn't steal his energy, by the way. This is going to backfire. Guess what? When you try to or successfully kill a chosen one on a mission, your life is toast. After that, it's karma up the wazoo. So whoever is involved in this, and I don't want to name any names because we don't know for sure that the premier of China actually ordered it. It could have been somebody else. Um, so it, is alleged, all of this is alleged and it's for entertainment purposes only. And but whoever was involved, and I've seen the video of the 5 people in the room who were actually beating him. These people will suffer the worst possible karma. Oh, that's what I was going to say. When you do this to a chosen one, you automatically, the karma is activated. Very severe karma is activated. And one of the things that happened, and they have a belief system in China with this ritual, this particular ritual they did to him, that if it was a bad ritual and an ill omen for the person that was involved, that there would be storms afterwards and immediately there would be response from nature. Sure enough, within 24 to 48 hours after his death, there was a horrible hailstorm in Beijing, nowhere else. And the hail was, bigger than my mouse, like twice the size of my mouse. And apparently that was so big that everybody had to go indoors and it broke all the windows on the cars and damaged people's cars. And that people showed in the camera these hailstones were sitting on the ground for 4 hours, never melting, and they actually got bigger. They expanded and grew while they were sitting on the ground in for 4 hours. So this was a supernatural experience. Normally hail just melts, but this was the biggest hailstorm they'd ever seen, and the stones themselves grew over time. And the second thing that happened was a dark storm with strange clouds. They called them devil's eyes. And so it was like a bunch of puffy clouds that are dark, very close to the earth, and it looks like they have eyes in each of the clouds, staring down on Beijing. And everybody was terrified because it's a bad omen and they don't usually have those clouds. And then there was a lot of wind and everything too. And then the third thing that happened, and this was all in the few days after his death, and people filmed it, so I saw it, was hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of crows began flying all around Beijing. Huge flocks of crows, and they landed everywhere. The crows are the sign of very evil omen, very evil, a very dark event to come. And all three of those things happened within a few days of his passing. So God was very, very, very angry. And God let them know that their karma has begun. And I can verify this because I just went through something similar. And I mean, nowhere nearly as bad as that. But I was once tortured as a MK Ultra. And over the past year and a half, I've been gang stalked and I was tortured by a group. They're sending me black magic. And now they have begun to experience their karma. I never did anything except love them from a distance. They're in another country. And I'm hearing that they're getting really bad karma because they tried to kill me for a year and a half. This is what happens when you come after God's angels. Nothing good will come of that, folks. I don't know who all might be doing that, but you can't do it. it doesn't work, and don't bother, because whatever you do, try to do is just going to bounce right back, and you're going to experience all the horrible stuff that you tried to put on that person. And I didn't deserve it, and neither did he. But because we have a lot of light, people come after us and they persecute us. So again, I asked a question, how are you? And he's balancing. He's becoming balanced. And does God have a new mission for you? Or are you still kind of working from the other side on this one? Is it a brand new mission, or are you just enjoying your rest? Let's hear what he has to say. Yes. Yeah, he has a new group of people. He's got a new soul family, a new community on the other side. This is a new community, and they're there for him, angels. And there's going to be abundance in his new journey, which has just started. He's not sure. He's telling me he doesn't know what they're going to be doing. So I'm going to go to the other deck for a few minutes, and then we'll close it out. I wish I could talk to you guys, and maybe if you want to ask questions, I'll do a second video. And I'll have more information by then because I've been studying this situation. Um, so this is my old steady deck. Okay, let's hear it. You Ming, what would you like to say? I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope this brings good things to the world, that his martyrdom brings good things to the world, because usually a famous martyr who tried to help a difficult situation does bring good to the world. So he stood strong against them even in the face of torture. But they also wanted him to sign a document. I'm going to save that for later because we're going to do another video probably. Do you have anything more to say? You. So glad you're here. I can feel his presence. Is this ready? Okay, which kind of layout should I do? The Celtic? Okay, we do the Celtic. Okay, good. Cruelty. This is what happened to him was when this particular card is the Nine of Swords, and this is the most cruelty that you can experience. I mean, when it's reversed, it's worse. So he experienced extreme cruelty for a long time. And it wasn't just that night. What I see in the bottom here is he is at peace, and he no longer has to battle. On top of that, he's in a place where there's divine feminine energy, so he can heal. He needs to heal from everything that's just happened to him. And this is going to be some happiness coming his way. This is kind of like somebody who finally gets to enjoy life and maybe has enough money and is relaxed, and he gets some of that. And then this is going to be slow for him because he's in another place. He's going to adjust to not having a body. Um, he's recently, okay, this is really good. The Ten of Wands is now lifted off of him. This means that the mind control and everything they had on him, the burdens, the bondage, he's been liberated. Okay, this is really good news. He's been liberated from control and oppression that his whole life with these people. Um, he's not going to be looking at worldly success anymore, but he's looking at spiritual success. So he's going to go into the sun energy, which is happiness. And it looks like he's going to have his own form of, this is the Nine of Stones, which is like the Nine of Pentacles. So he's going to have a kind of abundance in heaven wherever he is. And it looks like he's over the illusions because he got the illusions card in the last deck. Here it is again, the Seven of Cups. He's like, I'm over it. He had an illusion that maybe he was going to be able to work it out and get away and give them money and give them get that information out, but they were onto him, so he didn't get to do that. So that illusion has ended because he's now on the other side and he has a different life. But it's okay because his new life's going to be fine. He's not really sure yet. He's learning about spiritual connectivity. He's going to have a new spiritual life up there and a new awakening, which is coming for him. He's working on it. But he's going to become strong and confident because he's in a place that's safe. He's safe. He's no longer here. Um, yeah, the battle's over. It's truce. The battle for him, basically. He can talk to us from the other side, but his battle here is over. So I'm going to put a couple of cards up here, like this one. Okay, the success card, the sun card. Um, maybe the chariot and the illusions. And we'll just get a little qualification and then we'll close it out. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but I know that you came for this mission and you accomplished it. I'm really proud of you. One more shuffle, okay. So, dear you, Menglong, you should go online and you can see his singing and all the different things that he did. He was a sweetheart. Okay, so he's got some new work they're going to give him. See what it is. Oh, goody, that's over for him. He's going through a lot of changes, because he's the hanged man again. He just recently got to heaven, so it's going to take him a while to adjust, and this takes a while because you're given a new task, but first you heal when you get to heaven. For those of you who don't know, I've had 7 near-death experiences at least, so I know what's going on up there. He's going to have some new work. Here's the Three of stones, which is the Three of Pentacles. It's going to come. Some new work is going to come towards him and whatever God has for him. The Ten of Swords is over. So that's ended for him. All the suffering is over. He doesn't need to worry about it anymore. He's been relieved of his body, so he won't have to. They're going to hold on to his body and, make a statue of him, but he's not in that body anymore. It doesn't matter. And they're all excited about that and they posting about it secretly that, now they'll always have his face, and they can see that they dominated him, which is a satanic belief that if you can dominate someone who's powerful, full of love, that you've somehow won something. They won nothing. They will be punished very severely and they will spend eternity in hell. Um, he's working on gaining his spiritual power. He got these 2 power cards. are reversed at the moment because he just recently crossed over. And that just means that he's healing, he's not ready to get into another battle or anything. And he doesn't have justice yet. That's why there's no justice for him yet. Success and justice are reversed because it hasn't happened yet, but you watch when CCP falls, these cards will be reversed and he's going to be successful. And then his spiritual connection, he's going to become an emperor, which can be a positive emperor. We got the negative emperor before, but this is what he's becoming. He's going to become spiritually more powerful. He's going to move up in rank. When you do a big job like this for God, you get moved up in rank. He's going to become an emperor, which is frankly the highest that you can be, except maybe the Hierophant. And oh, good, he's having a rebirth. Oh, it's all good. All good. Um, so for this new work and his illusions, he got the rebirth card. And that's where he's at right now. He's had a death and now he's being reborn in heaven with God. He'll be fine. And so he has to go through, see, he's in this card. There's an egg, and here's a male and a female principle. And so, he's like in a spiritual cocoon. And whoever he's going to be somebody different. He doesn't have to be that person anymore that suffered. Um, his victory is delayed, but that's because nothing's changed yet. I mean, it's changing. I mean, there's a grassroots movement, it's gonna change. But he'll see justice, he'll see a victory eventually. And he's going to regain his power and his courage, and the battle is over. And he was physically taken off the planet, but he won the battle because he never broke. He never backed down from them. He never did what they wanted, and he never gave in sexually. So, the Five of Wands is that he had a very strong opponent, and he had to stand up against them. But the battle's over, and he won. On the bottom of the deck, he's the hanged man right now because he's in limbo, becoming a new person. And soon, very good things are coming for him. And his difficulties are over. And yeah, he had a death and an ending. And that has given him a new life as the fool. He's starting a new life as, the beginning of a adventure on the other side. So that's my reading, and it's clear to me that the three kings represent, and the emperor represent the killers, and there are two women, and I believe it's this woman that's being mentioned in other videos. I don't know who she is, but her name is Song, and she filmed the entire torture episode. And this other woman, this wealthy woman who apparently felt scorned, and she decided to bankroll this whole thing. You see her in the video, actually part of the abuse. So these two women are evil, and all these people are very, very evil people. And he was like a saint in the middle of evil. And that kept coming up here in the cards, and an angel and page of cups and the knight of cups. And he's trying to offer, be a good person. And they're just like, we're going to take you out. And we don't care whether you like it or not. So, that's my reading for tonight. And what I would, to ask you all is to sign the petition, which I'll put at the bottom, for justice for you, Menglong, and that there be an investigation and that these people be brought to justice, whoever they are. And that you pray in your own way, whatever you do for you, and that his soul rest in peace, and that he doesn't have to worry about this from the other side. We'll take it from here, and you can relax, okay? And thank you for your great sacrifice for humanity. I mean, this is something that has touched my soul very deeply, which is why I'm doing this video, because I suffered very intensely myself from child sex slavery. Um, it's been really, really difficult for me to hear stories like this without just feeling racked to my soul because it could have been me. Especially since I almost went into the entertainment industry, it could have been me. And instead, I became a healer. So that's what I am now. I'm a healer and a writer and a divine mother. And we're going to bring the light to this planet, and we're going to continue the love, even though he's gone. The rest of us are going to love, do our best to heal this planet and to end the evil here. And his contribution will never be forgotten. It was a huge thing that he did to stand up to these people while they're torturing him, and him saying no, and and then eventually they just kill him, is an act of great bravery, incredible courage, strength, resilience, and bravery in the face of evil is not something that I will ever forget. And I know what that feels like because I've also been tortured. So I'm just really, really impressed by you, and I'm proud of you, and you will never be forgotten. Your courage will be remembered forever, and you will inspire millions of Chinese people to stand up to evil because it doesn't get any harder than what you went through, and maybe they'll feel strong enough to do it too because of you. So let us remember him fondly, and please sign the petition on his behalf and say some prayers for him, okay? All right. Well, I hope that was enjoyable. Love you guys. And I'm going to post it right now. And I'm going to putting up some more videos tomorrow. I've been super busy, but I will get a couple more videos for you up tomorrow. All right. Much love to you. And may the angels bless us all. I call upon, okay, I can feel him. You, thank you. Oh, thank you. Is it you? Somebody's touching the top of my head. It's angels. I call upon the angels and you together. Make yourselves known. Okay. Thank you. Love you all. Take care and good night.